So today I am bringing you a September energy update, and I know it's a little bit later in the month, and I just felt a need to come on and share with you guys because I feel like the more we can be open and honest about these things, the easier life will be. And when we're in the flow of life and we're flowing with the universe, everything in our life will flow much easier. Now, this is a universal 6 month, and for those of you that may not be aware, the six, I really love my numerology, and that six energy, I relate them to the chakras as well, which is our third eye. And those of you, if you're aware of like numerology, you're going to know if you've got a strong six energy, for instance, like in any of your core numbers, your life path, your soul edge, your destiny, heart's desire, personality numbers, or even in your name, or you're around other people that have that maybe that strong six energy or 33 energy as well. You guys may be feeling the pressure. You may be feeling a lot this month because myself, gosh, I can tell you. Apologies, I've been a little bit quiet on here, but hey, I've just been trying to get through life. I say get through it, you know? And each month, obviously, it's a different focus on a different chakra or a different energy point. Chakras are, the energy portals within the body. And guys, this third eye one, there is a lot going on with it. And some of us are going to feel that more than others. And a big focus in this video I want to talk to you guys about as well is mental health. Like mentally, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Check in with yourselves. Are you feeling out of balance? Are you feeling ungrounded? Are you feeling very emotional at the moment? Because this month, I can tell you guys, I've really, really been feeling emotional. Like I've kind of lost track of how many times I've cried this month. I'm highly sensitive this month. I know we've had like the full moon, then we went into retrograde, and obviously I have a lot of six energy in my charts and on my life path as well, the 33 and the 6. Yeah, guys, I'm feeling it. It's a lot. If you can relate, let me know. I don't want to be the only one, but yeah, I just want to be open and honest with you guys. So this third eye chakra, it's obviously, it's connected and it's located between the eyebrows, and it can affect, the parts of your body, your brain, your eyes, your pineal gland, your pituitary glands, your ears. So I don't know about anyone else, but I have been feeling my ears have been going a lot. Sometimes they feel like they're popping a bit, or sometimes I'm getting the different frequencies or the ringing in my ears. I know as well, universally, on a global level, like we're going through energetic changes which our planet hasn't experienced before. And obviously then as beings on this earth, our bodies have to kind of balance themselves out and upgrade themselves to match that new frequency of energy. That's why it's also particularly important to really be mindful of like what you're consuming, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. Like what are you tuning in? What do you listen to? Because all things, in the media, the news, things like that are very low vibrational and are designed to pull your frequency back down and to keep you at that lower level and stop you accelerating and seeing the truth in things. They're there to kind of control and manipulate your views, your thoughts, and your opinions. So it's really important to take time out to be with yourself and to know what are your own thoughts, what are your own feelings, how do you feel about things? And like discern that for yourself and step into your own power. And if you feel at all out of balance and you might be lacking your intuition or imagination, and maybe you're feeling very confused or fearful, or you're not able to focus, you might start getting very depressed or feeling anxious or isolated. They can be signs, when your third eye chakra is out of balance. When it's obviously in balance, you will feel a lot more intuitive, a lot stronger. You'll have that sense of clarity. You'll just feel mentally strong and trusting in yourself and be able to embrace any change that comes into your truth, or embrace changes in truth, basically, and you'll feel a lot more spiritually aligned. So where we can feel out of balance, it's just about realigning ourselves and getting back in balance. Because I do find like the third eye is really strongly linked to our mental health as well, as it is connected to the brain. And I feel a lot of people, including myself, who are maybe more sensitive or empaths or feelers or intuitives, we can be a lot more sensitive. And sometimes I find like the deepness within this deep depression that is within is often because of the outside world. And when you can see the truth in things and you feel safe to see the truth, sometimes the actual world we live in and the things that take place and go on can really depress us. And what can end up happening is often we can end up taking on the feelings and the weight of the world and everyone else's, problems, pains and sufferings, and we can take it on and we're feeling it as if it's our own, and it can really cloud us down and weigh us down. And often sometimes as well, I feel like with a lot of us, as I said, with these energy changes and shifts that are taking place on Earth, many people that end up maybe taking, let's call it a spiritual path, or connecting to the divine or the source of the universe and finding a higher purpose and a different purpose and a stronger meaning to life. Often that doesn't just happen, for people that are having a great, easy life. Often it's those of us that are going through deep emotional pains, traumas. You might have lost a loved one, you might have had your heart broken, you might, as we say, mental breakdowns, emotional strains and problems. Often it's when we have to go through our darkest times and we're hitting rock bottom that then out of that, we have this inner strength that gets us through. And if you're still here today listening to this message, then that is you. You've had the strength to get through whatever your deep struggles are, and you're still here today, and that is strength. And as I always say, it's about sometimes even keeping hope, and hope for me is holding on, pain ends, and keeping faith in a higher purpose. And when things do get too much and feel too much, asking, whether it be God or the divine or universe, however you want to word it, whatever aligns and feels right for you, asking for that help. Ask your spirit team for your highest good. Ask them for help, because often when we can feel so disconnected from our outer world, it's about building the strength back with our inner world. But this month I've just felt it's been testing me, mentally, and I think part of it is, and it kind of hit me this morning and it was a bit of a reality check, is maybe I've been running from myself. Maybe I've been running from me and my true soul path and my soul purpose and my reason for being here. And I think for a lot of us that have a higher purpose or a different purpose, or maybe more on our spiritual path, is I'm aware of it, I've acknowledged it, but have I truly stepped into my power, and am I fulfilling what my soul came here to do? And yes, I might be in certain ways, but maybe the universe is prompting me to be like, no, we need you in full power and action. And because I'm maybe going against that flow of it, that's maybe where I think some of that emotional turmoil and battle has come into place. And it can be little things that might be triggering me or setting me off. And that's where it's like, I know when I connect back to source and the universe, that I feel more safe and secure, and I feel I can take on anything, any struggles or problems that come my way. I feel then I've got the power and the strength to deal with them. Whereas when I'm stuck in as I'm just going to call it, the human body and the mind I'm really finding can take over your intuition and your inner knowing. That other part of your mind, I don't know if anyone else feels this, but it's like it can take over, and then small things might trigger me emotionally, or feeling I'm not been heard, or maybe you feel a bit of criticism or something, and that can really take over. Or again, pain, I always have a fear of losing people, and then if I feel that kind of kicks in, or again, perfectionist tendencies, if you've got that strong 6 energy or 33, you're gonna know what I'm on about here. For me, it's this feeling of always wanting to be perfect, and I put so much pressure on myself internally. Others wouldn't know, but it's whether it be a task you're completing or something you're doing, and if I haven't done it to the way I believe I should have, it's you can really knock yourself with your confidence, and you can block yourself because you put so much pressure on that you then end up shutting down and doing the opposite. Or you then make decisions, or you do things out of fear or anxiety then, because you've pressured yourself so much. It's like putting yourself in that pressure cooker. And these perfectionist tendencies are so hard to deal with. And then on the flip side of that, then when I feel like things get too much, or I feel emotional, I have these then little breakdowns within me. It's then I have these strong feelings of, this inner feeling. Yeah, so just to put a little trigger warning out there, I guess, like what I'm about to say could be a bit triggering for some people, but I talk from the heart, and I say it as it is. And this is something I've always suffered with my whole life, is this feeling of like, that I don't want to be here. Then when things get too much, it's like I can't cope with life. I don't want to be here. I feel like I can't go on. And that is where you feel suicidal, because you feel you don't want to be here. And that's, those feelings of inadequacy, and that you can't cope and you can't deal with it. And I want to normalize that, because I feel like so many people do have those thoughts or feelings over their lifetime. For some people, they might not be consistent. They might have come up at a point in their life. It might be something that's more ongoing. But just to also make a note, the word suicidal holds a 33 energy as well. So that's really interesting. And that 3 energy is directly then linked to your solar plexus chakra, which is all about your personal power, feelings of self-esteem, confidence. And again, if that's underbalanced, or we're feeling that out of whack, it's those feelings of inadequacy, that we're not enough to cope in this world. Nothing is coincidence. So, when I kind of looked and studied the numbers a bit, I started realizing there were certain things I might have struggled with, and then they directly relate to myself and my numbers. And I'm like, okay, this isn't a coincidence. Like, this is for me, like, do you know what I mean? Like, no coincidence here. So that's one thing I found with me, like, numerology has helped me see something else. And again, I think I might have mentioned this in other videos, but again, feelings of fatigue, that was another thing that's always kind of like ruled me to a degree, right? This fatigue. And fatigue holds, again, a 33 energy. And this is something to note as well. Those of you, if you are listening and you have got that 33 energy, or people with those 33 in their numerology, or in their name, or their charts, however that shows up, it's worth noting that I do believe it's one of the hardest numbers. And I feel like these double numbers, master numbers and karmic numbers, they can be some of the hardest numbers to work through, because what we feel, I can speak for myself, what I feel internally, I feel no one else ever gets it or understands it. And sometimes I feel I can't even express it into words, how I feel, because sometimes it can be so emotionally painful. The only way to describe then how I'm feeling, it's that painful that in that moment I want to die, to take away the pain I'm feeling. And that is just raw, real, and it, like, that's how it feels, And it's sad when you think of it like that, but that's the thing. And that's what I'm trying to, I guess, learn and figure out, is when I get to that point where I feel like I can't cope or deal with something, instead of feeling, okay, I now feel suicidal, like I don't want to be here because I can't cope, it's like, okay, I need to kind of look into those thoughts and feelings. And I guess sometimes just being kinder to myself and allow myself, okay, this is how I'm feeling in this moment. Let's see if it passes. Let's just see how that, that feeling can pass. How can that feeling, because it's true, that feeling won't last forever. Because there's been phases then where I'm out of that, then I feel a bit better, then I go back, again, it's that whole balance, up and down. And again, sometimes life can feel like a roller coaster, that roller coaster energy, and it's difficult. But this is why I come on here to talk, because I feel like even if it's just one person that can relate to some of what I'm saying, or they find it helpful in some way. But I feel like for me, the purpose of opening up to share this in this universal 6 month is mental health affects us all differently. And we will all go through different phases and thoughts of feeling things. But my advice, what I find helps, is when I am in those places, is sometimes just going back out into nature, reconnecting with myself, and my spiritual connection. Things like this, coming on and channeling my energy back into videos. And that's one thing I'm definitely going to be doing more of, is the videos and channeling, my energy. And I want to change a little bit on the channel. I'm going to be doing more talking about, and the natural way we can help in our lives and benefit our lives. Because again, I know, and this isn't ever to pass like a judgment or anything, but different things work for different people. But I don't personally believe in or using anything that's not natural. So I'm very big on, like, for instance, like with mental health, it's like a cracking open, yeah, because we feel like that point sometimes where we're at a breaking point and we feel like we can't cope. And just the same way as like if someone physically, yeah, had a problem with their legs or had a physical ailment, maybe people see it so they get more sympathy or help. But when you have a mental one, it's like people can't see it, so they don't know what you're feeling, what your thoughts, how it's affecting you, and it affects everyone so differently. But my way of looking and working through things is more of the natural approach, and that's what I'm going to share more of on this channel, because the world we live in is so unnatural. And I want to focus more on a natural world and creating a natural world. And for some people that may be stronger, for some other people it might be adding in certain elements of that. And it's what works for you, because we're all in different places in the world. We've got different surroundings, access to different things, different budgets, but it's about doing something that isn't going to cost you loads, it's just, how can I put it? It's going to be a way of life, isn't it? It's your life, it's your way of life. How do you want to live that? And I can only share with you things that have helped me. And one of the biggest things I think that saved me when I was at some of my lowest points in life has been, it's like it pushed me to my lowest point till I had to address what I was going through. And then that led me onto my spiritual path, and knowing that I had to learn to trust my sixth sense, because I was having experiences that weren't, let's say, how can we put it, that weren't to do with my other five senses necessarily, or that some people may say weren't normal. But I believe that they were the can opener of then my spiritual gift and my path, and it forced me to realize I had to work with it, not against it. So I'm going to share more of that in the videos, but this was just kind of to come on and open up and just give a bit of insight that this month for some people you may really be struggling. So don't feel like you're alone. Try and connect back into yourself. Have some time alone. You know, if you've got to have time off work, do it. If you need to go out in nature alone, you need to have a little break on your own. If that's going to help you mentally, physically, emotionally, you have to prioritize your health and well-being first, because unless we prioritize ourselves and give to ourselves, we can't fully give to others. And when we give to others without giving to ourselves, we are depleting ourselves of that life force, that energy and that nourishment that we need for our souls to be able to give the best we can back out into the world. And those that are here and to help humanity and to help the world in their own ways, you know, we have to look after ourselves first. So self-care is really crucial and important this month, guys, because yeah, we've still got a little bit left in the month, but I feel for a lot of us there's been a lot of struggles, and we've got this new moon coming up on, I think it's around about the 25th. So again, just harness some of that energy there to set your intentions going forward. Like, what do you want to bring into your life? What changes do you want to make? Just set your intentions out, even writing it down in your own pen on paper, old school. Yeah, with your own energy, pen to paper is powerful. Light a candle, set your intentions, set your blessing over it, and then wait for the month ahead to come. And just sometimes we have to surrender, and we can't always have the power and control to control how everything will come in or out of our lives and the flow of that. And that's where having a trust in a higher power in the universe will help our life flow more easily. So I'm really looking forward to doing more videos and sharing more content with you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Take care.